Good morning. Today we are going to start chapter number 4, part 2, that is permanent tissues. So, see here that the permanent tissues are developed from meristematic tissues. The meristematic cells increase in dimension and assume a definite shape and size. These tissues can resume meristematic activities under certain conditions. They may be living or dead type. Permanent tissues are also called simple tissues. They consist of group of uniform cells performing similar functions. The common permanent simple tissues of plants are parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. So first we see the first type, that is parenchyma cells. So in parenchyma, first we see structure and then functions. In structure, it is the most common type of permanent tissue. They consist of collection of cells that have essentially some same diameter. They are usually living cells, may be oval, spherical or polygonal in shape, with intercellular spaces and abundant active protoplasm. These cells have thin wall made up of cellulose, and cells are capable of even young they are permanent. Parenchyma may be called ground or fundamental tissues because most of the specialized tissues are supposed to be derived from it. It is found in cortex, pith, medullary rays and mesophyll of leaves and pulp of fruits. Then functions of parenchyma. The parenchymatous cell sometimes contains chloroplast within, hence it is known as a chlorenchyma. It performs functions of photosynthesis. Second, it does not functions of food manufacture. In aquatic plants, the air cavities are present in between the cells. These parenchymatous tissues are called aerenchyma. It makes the aquatic plants lighter and enable them to float on the water. The parenchyma performs main function as a food storage, while in fleshy stem and leaves, parenchyma cells functions as water storage tissues. Example, opuntia. Then second type, that is collenchyma. In collenchyma, first we see structure of this collenchyma. Collenchyma is a spherical type of parenchyma tissues. It has somewhat elongated cells whose walls are thickened at the corners in longitudinal strips. On the basis of thickenings of cell wall and arrangement of cells, three forms of collenchyma have been recorded, that is angular, lacunate and tubular, plate or laminal. So angular collenchyma is most common type, where deposition is localized to the junction between the cells. It is a compact tissue consisting of irregularly arranged cells without intercellular spaces. Okay. Then lacunate or tubular collenchyma is the second type of collenchyma. It is with intercellular space and thickenings are restricted to the walls of regions bordering on space. Plate or laminal collenchyma is a third type of collenchyma. It consists of compactly arranged cells with vigorously thickened tangential walls. Thus the cells appears like plate or bands. Then collenchyma cells remains alive even after maturity and sometimes contain chloroplast. They are more or less rounded or polygonal in transverse sections. Collenchyma cells have thickened due to deposition of cellulose impregnated with pectins. The cells are never lignified and have simple pits in their walls. Collenchyma is present in hypodermis of dicotyledonous stem, particularly in the roots, if present. It is absent from the roots and monocotyledonous stems. Then functions. The collenchyma is somewhat flexible tissues and it gives tensile strength to the growing organ. It adapts itself radially to rapid elongation of stem due to its extensible nature. In old stem, it adds mechanical strength. And third function, that is collenchyma provides mechanical supports to the organ, and due to its peripheral position in stem, it resists bending and pulling action of wind. Then next type, that is the sclerenchyma cells. First we see the structure of sclerenchyma. The sclerenchyma is important simple permanent tissue which is adapted for mechanical functions. The component cells are usually prosenchymatous. This term is designated to the cells which are much longer than breadth. The sclerenchyma cells are considerably thickened, heavily lignified with simple pits. Then the sclerenchyma cells have hard secondary wall with low water content, thus it is distinguished from collenchyma tissue which has a plastic primarily wall with high percentage of water. The shape and size of cells of sclerenchyma show variations, thus they may be placed into two groups. Very much elongated cells are called sclerenchyma fibers, while short cells that isodiametric or irregular are known as sclerites or sclerotic cells. The sclerenchyma fibers are elongated, narrow with pointed ends. The walls are very much thick and usually dead when mature. The lumen is much reduced. The average length of fibers is 1 to 2 mm, but exceptionally long fibers may be present in hemp and flax to the about 20 to 550 mm. The sclerenchyma fibers present in cortex, pericycle, and phloem are known as bast fibers. The xylem fibers are called wood fibers. The wood fibers have bordered pits. The fibers may be present singly or in groups in any part of plants. Generally, they are formed the hypodermis and bundle sheath in monocotyledonous stem and pericycles, a part of xylem and phloem in dicotyledonous stems. The stone cells are sclerites are derived from parenchymatous cells. The cells are isodiametric and have thick walls. They may be rounded, polygonal, short, cylindrical, or irregular in shape. The stone cells are dead with a narrow lumen. The walls are lignified, sometimes suberized with simple pits. They occur singly or in groups among the parenchyma. They are mostly present in the cortex and phloem. If they are present in fruits and seeds, they are called grit cells. Then functions. The main function of sclerenchyma is to give mechanical strength to and supports to the organs. The sclerenchyma can withstand strains and stresses like flexion, compression, and longitudinal pull in a cylindrical bodies and shearing stresses in leaves. Okay, thank you.